All right, I've had a few people that have discussed that there really isn't a lot of information out there about how to care for leachianus geckos, and I think in part that is true, and part of that is because, well, first of all the information that I have gleaned in my experience has come from these two books. One is Rhacodactylus, Complete Guide to Their Selection and Care, and that's by these fellas down here, Rapashi Fast and Devashjali. I need to figure out how to actually pronounce that guy's name. The other is by these German guys, Siep and Hinkel, maybe is how you say their name, Wilhelm Hinkel, which of course the island subtype leachianus were named after Mr. Hinkel there, and I actually think that I'm the person that purchased the last one of these off of Amazon, because I went on there and there was one left and I bought it for the regular price, and then like the next day they were each like $1 million used. And the same things happened with this book. So these books are out of print and you can't actually get them anymore. And I know there's a lot of books out there about crested geckos, but I don't know that there's anything specific about the leachianus gecko. So I'm going to try to do a series of short videos that explain the basic care of these animals, and I'm going to have my partner in crime, Hazel K, here with me. You want to say hello, Hazel K? You want to say hello to the world? Say hello. Say, that's an iPad. See, Daddy, you're not singing. You're supposed to be singing. Cocaine flame in my bloodstream. Sold my coat when I hit Spokane. Bought myself a hard pack of cigarettes in the early morning rain. Okay, maybe we're not entertained. So the first thing I'm going to do in this video is just real basic care. And we're going to start with housing. If you've kept gargoyle geckos or crested geckos, the housing is pretty much exactly the same, except you need more of it. This right here is a cage that I built. It is, the dimensions I think are like 18 by 16 by 36, so it's 3 feet tall, and you can buy like an Exoterra cage or something like that, but it's going to cost you like $250 or something ridiculous. I got this is a 40-gallon breeder turned up on its side, but you're going to need more space. So one of the things that is recommended is that you have a lot more height, obviously, than you have breadth or depth. And that's for any arboreal animal, any type of gecko. The exact dimensions that you're going to need, I keep 2 adults. I keep an adult pair in this particular setup, and you can see how large it is. And here's my foyer, and there's Hazel K. And so you need some size if you're keeping a couple of geckos. Now, if you're just keeping one, what I use down here on the floor, I have just one of these 18 by 18 Exoterra terrariums, and that's plenty of size for one adult. So if you're talking about keeping adult geckos, they do need a lot of space. Another thing you're going to notice that's maybe a little different from crested geckos or gargoyles, I've got a towel sitting on top of the tank here, and I've just got a little bit of screen exposed. And there's a reason for that. Also, I did a video about this particular tank, and somebody complained because there was no screen in it, and there's not any screen in it for a reason. I do have a small space right here for airflow, and I left another space here, and I do have a very large door, so when I open it once, once every day, you get a lot of airflow in and out. But the reason for that is because these guys do need a lot of humidity. They need humidity constantly up around 80, and so you can see I keep mine, right now it's about 76, but I never let it get any lower than 70, and I don't let it get any higher than 85 or 90, but they do need a lot of humidity. Now obviously you don't want too much humidity. You don't want the dirt or the soil to be extremely damp. Now what I've done here is, if you look down here at the bottom, wow, you can see in the reflection my pajama pants, isn't that great? Down here I put a seal to make this watertight when I put this glass in, because I've got these little hydro balls down here, and I've got a screen mesh separating that from, this is just peat moss. And I keep a little bit, you can't really see it, but I keep about a ½ inch, ¼ inch of water in these hydro balls, and that way the humidity just kind of rises up through, and the substrate doesn't actually stay damp. So the substrate is fairly dry to the touch, but you do have moisture that rises up, and so you do maintain this higher humidity. And you can do that in any type of terrarium, 10-gallon tank, 20-gallon, whatever. Now, I don't do like some type of bioactive substrate like they talk about, where you got microorganisms living in there and you never clean the poop out and all that. It's just simply a couple of layers there using the hydro balls to keep the humidity up. As far as temperature goes, you can see, you may have seen this earlier on my thermometer, it's wintertime right now, and in my house it's 69 degrees, and that's just fine for these guys. Room temperature is great. Just like with the cresteds or gargoyles or some of the more common kept species, the room temperature is fine. And actually, if you're breeding them, that works out great, because right now they're kind of in a cooling period. At night in my house it gets down to around 65 degrees, and so they're going to have a natural couple of months where they'll be cooling, and then in the spring it'll get naturally warmer in my house, and that'll be kind of bringing them out of a cooling period. So real quick recap on the housing. You want something with a lot of height. These guys are climbers. You can see they stay in the upper reaches of the terrarium pretty much all the time. They come down to eat, and they will drink out of a water dish, but I do spray the terrarium every couple of days. I actually leave a water sprayer right here next to it. The one thing that I found out in my years of experience doing this is, if something's not convenient and it's not easily where you can just reach out and grab it and do it, you're less likely to do it. So everything that I use for these animals, I keep right here. In the back behind the light, I have hidden some extra food dishes. I have some razor blades hidden there, because those razor blades, in another video I show how to clean this terrarium, but I just pull out those razor blades and scrape the poop and stuff off the glass. I've got... Do you think that's funny? You think scraping the glass is funny? And I keep the water bottle here, because if it's not handy, you're much less likely to use it. So you want a rather large terrarium. I think an 18 by 18 by 18 is a good size for a single adult. If you got two adults, you want something bigger than that, like 18, 18, 24. I think Exoterra makes an 18 by 18 by 24, or you can build something custom like this. You want lots of branches and things for them to climb on. Humidity needs to be high, and temperature needs to be at about room temperature. Face down in the ditch, booze in my hair, blood on my lips, a picture of you holding a picture of me in the pocket of my blue jeans. I still don't know what love means. He's okay. I still don't know what love means. Jolene. La da da